One of the things, let's talk about the voice now and how we use the voice. Voice is really important because it's a tool that we use to express the point of view, what we say to a group of people, and we've got to make sure the voice, we maximise on our vocal delivery. We call it vocal delivery or vocal image, we can call it. See, you can see somebody in making a presentation, it's what we call a visual image, but the voice is a vocal image, how the words come out. Now, there are certain things you have to think about in terms of the voice, but you have to think about, well, before we get to that point, what could affect the voice? And a number of factors. Now, remember, if you're doing a presentation, stress comes in. You know, it's a stressful situation, and you might find that there are times when it does actually affect the voice. Now, the way in which we produce words is obviously the lungs push air out over the vocal cords through the mouth, and the muscles in the mouth and the tongue, they create the words. That's why we speak in the way we do and the accents that we have. So we have to make sure that we maximise all of those factors. Now, the effect of stress on the voice, sometimes when we're nervous, we make quick and shallow breaths. And if you want to become a good singer, you need to be able to control the way in which the words come out so you can sing what you need to. So you need to be able to breathe properly. One of the exercises you can do before you speak is breathe. Learn how to breathe. You can place your hand on your tummy and learn how to breathe. So you're making deep breaths, and you're able to project the air out and control what happens in there. So
before the presentation.
Before you make the presentation, it's a good way of actually helping nerves as well, because you're taking deeper breaths, it brings more oxygen in, and it actually allows you to be more calmer and more oxygen to the brain to make it function more effectively.
Take out the stress.
Yes, it does manage to reduce the stress in terms of a presentation. But when you're under stress, you go, you don't even know you're breathing like that, and the control of breathing is really important.
You're not breathing deeply, like shallow and...
Exactly. So it's really important that you know how to breathe, and you've got to do it before you go in there, so it does relax. Tension of the muscles around here stops us from being able to form words effectively. So, if you're going to be speaking, you need to be able to... One thing you can do, one of the other stress things you can do, is sometimes tense the muscles where you know where your muscles get tense, your shoulders, and relax them. Feel the tension come out of the shoulders. And you can tense the face and relax. You need to know what it's like when you're tense, and you need to know what it's like when you are relaxed. So you can do, it's a process of stress reduction where you tense and relax, and coupled with breathing as well. Just relax, and you've got to let it all flow, the tension, make sure it's out, flows out from the body there. It's a good way of being able to control the tension in your arms and your neck and your mouth as well. Know where you get tense. If you get tense in your hands, tense and relax. What you're doing is you're unstressing, you're de-stressing. Surge of adrenaline speeds up the pace in which we do things, making words merging difficult to pronounce. One of the things about adrenaline is it does make us speak quicker. And sometimes people are so nervous they just want to speak at this pace, so they just get it out of the way so nobody can understand what they're talking about, but at least you get the presentation in half the time, but nobody can actually follow what you're saying. And if you're speaking to an audience where they can't even catch what you're saying if they do speak English, but if they don't speak English, they don't understand what you can say anyway, but at least you got it over with, and goodbye. Yeah. Not great, but at least you've finished this process. Not brilliant to do that. What you need to do in a presentation is make sure you speak at a pace by which you can get the words out, the meaning out, and the audience can hear what you need to say as well. A surge of adrenaline makes us speak quicker, and it wants us to speed up our process of delivery. But if we go too fast, people can't keep up with us, so we need to be able to speak at a more measured pace. One of the areas of practicing is the practice to speak at half your natural speed and learn how to control the word flow which comes out of your mouth. That's a great technique to practice, because you're now in control of how you produce the words, the sentences, and the meaning. You in a presentation, you can speak like that for a short period of time. So if we met for the first time and I spoke to you like this, you would think, oh my goodness, who is this person? Now in a presentation,
so slow?
exactly. Now in a presentation, you can speak like this for short periods of time, especially if you're explaining something on a screen or making a point to an audience. It's a good technique to learn. The last part is a dry mouth. Now stress affects, one of the things that stress does, the body changes its functions. And one of the biggest energy sources in the body is digestion. When you're under stress, you don't need to eat, you just need to get away. It's what we call the classic fight and flight. You run or you fight. Now what the body does, it switches off non-essential functions such as digestion, which is why the salivary glands don't work as well, which means your throat gets dry. And we always say have a little glass of water before you start, just to wet the back of your mouth.
Lubricate me.
Exactly, so that you're not going to be speaking like this. Not good to do that. It also, that's one of the main reasons why sometimes people get
Good
hot.
to have it, near you, huh?
Oh yes, absolutely. So that you're able to at least
Take a sip, yeah.
little sip of water,
Mm.
and you can do that at times. But a good little sip before you start off wets the back of your throat, makes you be able to speak more effectively. Now that's how stress affects the body, but you've got to be able to know that. But obviously there are techniques to help with the nerves and things like that with this, and that's one of the things that you can do. But you've got to be able to make sure your voice is working at its maximum.